Hi, everybody. It's Friday, and it's time once again to answer the question, what's the greatest NES game ever made? And what's the second greatest? And the third? And the fourth? What's the 300th best NES game ever made? We'll have an interim answer today, as our list now contains 299 games. Will the first number 300 be Operation Secret Storm, or will something go in below it? The answer is right around the corner. This list is looking good. We're not we're not halfway done. I always lose count. I always forget. In my mind, it's like 650 or something is the overall number of North American NES releases. But isn't it? Is it 8 something? Is it 762? That's 759 in the US. Yeah, somewhere around there. So that's, hey, we're closing in on the halfway point, I guess. And that's that's a lot. I don't know. If you want to influence the list, a lot of lists. This list was heavily influenced this week by the folks on the Gerstmann advisory panel. You can go over to patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann, and you can learn more about that. Multiple tiers to sign up that there. You want some ad-free podcasts, some additional shows, multiple offerings for you. Offerings at every level. At every level of love, you understand. You're at your $10 suggested love donation. No. It is not. We're not gonna televangelize here. It's too early in the morning. It's too early in the morning for that. Instead, it is precisely early enough to play some 8-bit Nintendo games. So let's go over here and live in the darkness. And I'll push this button. And I'll push this button. There we go. Hello, it's me. I'm down here. First up is a game that was desired by Charles and Fandel. And it's a gem. I don't know. Well, I don't know. It's in. I know the arcade version of this is a lot of fun, but I can't quite remember the 8-bit Nintendo version. I just remember it as being a little bit more successful than its predecessor when it comes to duplicating the arcade experience. It's a game known as Double Dragon 2: The Revenge. Okay, maybe this is not the version that has achievement. I'm sure that this game must have achievements. We'll run the alternate revision. There we go. This music loops bad. Hard. I feel like when you hear any revision of the Double Dragon main theme, it should do something to you. It should make you feel something inside. Just like when you read VGBs, you should feel something. But then you see the Acclaim logo and you go, now I feel something different. Like I've been poisoned. This is a weird menu. You hit the select button to pick the difficulty settings and up and down to pick the... Games used to trust players, is what I'm saying. In a lot of different ways, but in this specific way, at no point do they indicate what you need to do to navigate this menu. They just go, there's like 4 buttons. You'll figure it out. All right, after the nuclear war, crime syndicates, 2 young men, Billy, Jimmy Lee. Maybe you've heard of them. Oh, people call them the Double Dragons. That might be important, I don't know. And yet, the dragons had one terrible enemy. To fight against him was the destiny and the fate of the Double Dragons. Yeah, are they not going to show this? Because the intro to this game in arcades is... Oh, okay, they've got a different version of it, I guess, here. But what is that? You know, in the intro to the arcade game, Machine Gun Willie shows up and shoots her. Just straight up murders her. It's like one of the early... It's one of the most brutal early things, I think, video games had to offer. Just like, Jesus Christ, what the... Like, she blinked and disappeared. That... this game also transitions the fighting system from the first game into directional controls. So, and that works really well on the NES here, where I've got a left attack and a right attack. And depending on what I'm facing, which way I'm facing, you know, that's going to be this or this, you know? Okay, how do I... Okay, it's I jump, you use both, but this is one of those games where you hit both buttons at the same time to jump, and so that's, you know, I don't care what game you are, that's prone to fail in intense situations. And then you see if I am... Much like Tekken, you have different moves as you are rising from a crouch position. You see that little uppercut that I was getting in there occasionally? Oh. There it was. I feel like that's pretty cool. You're just like, you're standing next to this ladder. It's like, are there ladies climbing down this ladder? I don't know. I can't even see. Oh, bop, bop, bop. I'm kicking them. Kicking them off this ladder. Back. There we go. Blasted him with that knee. And so it's a weird set of moves because some of them are so situational. Like, you know, the crouching, like the while rising kind of stuff is weird because you kind of can't, you know, you aren't always reliably in that position, and so you're not always set up to take advantage of that move, you know, unless you're kind of playing a certain way. Wait, didn't it tell me to go this way? It's a real River City Ransom pipe hitting the ground noise when those knives hit there. That's nice. You don't need to get as fancy in this game as you think. You know, it's the temptation is you want to use all those moves, and it's definitely cooler when you do. But again, with them being like relatively situational. Much like the first NES game, the weapons disappear on transitions, which is not how it ever worked in the arcade version. Oh, right, this guy. Here comes the axe, and here comes the smasher. Oh, God. Oh, got him. Oh, God. Just creepy flesh that is... Even his leather disintegrated there. I guess anything vegan survived, so the metal mask, you know. Go for broke. Good. I've got something to say, but I skipped English class. Broke. Go for broke. That's right. Fall. Die. Yeah, I mean, this definitely paints a picture of, like, you know, maybe a nuclear war wouldn't be so bad. I mean, we can only imagine, like, oh, Jesus. I take it back. How many people you got in this helicopter? Bye. The scroll in this game is a little too far to the right. I feel like I'm a little too far over. It leaves me feeling vulnerable. You know, as long as, like, they didn't directly nuke New York, which I imagine they would. I don't know. Like, I've seen... I looked at a lot of the stratagems in war games. Turkish Heavy and such, and, pretty sure most of them resulted in New York being decimated. Jeez, hey, guys, this is not cool. Are they throwing thumbs ups at me as they beat my ass? That's not... All right, gave him the knee. Can I? No? Okay. All right. Those guys were jerks. Grasp. All right, a battle in the chopper. Keep in mind, we're in that helicopter that took off earlier. Oh, God. Abobo have wig. How high up must this helicopter be flying for it actually to be pressurized in such a way that it is drawing us towards the door when it opens? Like, how? I don't mean to... Look. From the highest heights to an undersea base, this game truly has it all. Oh. It's fun. You can, like, jump over them and then blast them with the uppercut. This game's weird because, you know, it kind of, you know, the Abobo design, for example, and the way that the characters kind of look. It, like, this feels more like a sequel to the NES Double Dragon than to the arcade Double Dragon, if that makes any sense. The disappearing weapons. Like, it doesn't have the move leveling system that game had, which is probably to its benefit. Are these spikes on the ceiling? Yeah, okay. I was like, these look like something that I can't just jump into. The undersea base is truly... Oh! Oh, good. This is what we needed. I was like, wait. I was like, can I punch that or kick it or something? And it almost looks like a switch. But I have managed to jump into the spikes and die yet again. Knock the grenade out of him. Yeah, taste hot spikes. Ah! Ah! That's uncool. Like, my mobility is such that I can't really do much about those knives because there's spikes over my head. So even, like, I can't really jump over them. I guess the answer is to try to stay here. Crouches only come after a jump, so you can't, like, just crouch on demand. I maintain that that's a wig on Abobo there. Good. This game also maintains, the first game had some of this as well, right? Of, like, here's some conveyor belts and some other horse shit and a little bit of platforming. Just enough platforming to remind you that the limitations of these controls are, not good. Is there a way for me to continue here? That's unfortunate. Yeah, so if you get your turbo button on, you can be a real menace. This is real silly. Now I've got the advantage. The NES advantage. Real silly. It's stupid because you can only do it out of a crouch, and the only way to crouch is to jump, really, or get knocked over, and then when you stand back up, you will crouch on your way back up. A lot of beat 'em ups have had that concept of like, while rising kind of crouch moves or whatever, and it in games where you can't just crouch and do them, I find that to be a disgusting concept. Yeah, see, that's just the downside of that knee life. Real silly. Ah! Oh! I'll knee this helicopter. I like that the helicopter clearly gets away here, but then grasp. This is a real weird way to play this game. I'm just like holding down the turbo for both buttons and, hoping for the best. Like, it's such a loss of control because you're just like, you're jumping all the time. But you really do blast these fuckers. I like the noise it makes. They go flying. That's good. It's fun. Unfortunately, there's the spikes will probably... I'm guessing I cannot knee... Well, I can't jump, right? So I can't get jumping at all. Oh, the spikes don't actually hurt you? Oh, interesting. So I can just do that and then try to... Weird. Oh. It's real. Okay. I mean, it's the right move to inch over this way and then do the jump like that. Yeah. Bow. This is not, I don't know, this is all right. It's like a weird, because in some ways this feels like a notable improvement over the first game on the NES. But it's got its own crazy shit. You know, it's not clean. And it's hard, you know, to this thing about science is this whole time I'm playing this, I'm thinking, man, wouldn't we all be having a better time if I was playing the PC Engine CD version of Double Dragon 2 with its sick soundtrack? Oh. Stuff like that of like, here's the, oh, great. Yeah, this is what this game needed. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a guy down at the bottom of this tree trunks just getting crazy with his knee. Let's climb down there and see what's up. Oh, yeah, well, I'm an idiot. Goodbye, Mr. Abobo. Goodbye, Mr. Abobo. Also, these areas where you cannot walk up and down and it just becomes a full-on side scroller as opposed to a belt scroller. Not cool. Oh, yeah, can't do that when it's... Well, it's always spitting, though. This is... This sucks. This is terrible. What? Been bamboozled all these years. There. Oh. A lot of guys in this tiny little room up here. You gonna come all the way back up, tough guy? I applaud them for making the AI like capable of climbing back up. I'm impressed. I thought that that guy was gonna stand down there forever, and in order to make things move forward, I was gonna have to go all the way down. There is evil in the air at the Mansion of Terror. Oh, cool. Yeah, more platforming is definitely what check it out, though. Fuck this game. That's a shame. I don't know. Like, there's aspects of this that are definitely better than the first game, but like structurally and some of the level design and all that fucking platforming, man. All that platforming. It's unnecessary. We don't need it. It does not make the game better. You're not like, oh man, this game does two things. It lets me punch people in the face and I get to jump around. Like, it's not, the platforming is not good. The platforming is miserable. And it always was, right? I mean, like, that's, you know, even the little bits of platforming that you see in the arcade Double Dragon games are not welcome. Like, there's nothing there that you're like, ah, yes, now we're gaming. Like that stuff is, anything about positioning or maneuverability in the Double Dragon franchise, I think, has been pretty terrible. Even, you know, in that first game, even in the arcade version of the first game, when you get close to the end and the spike, like the walls start poking out and knocking you off the ledge and killing you, like, that stuff sucks. It just sucks. Would it have been better with a dedicated jump button? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That would have improved it. You know, that, yes, definitely. You know, like having a more firm grasp on the jumping definitely would have helped. Just overall, the entire game. But that doesn't necessarily like go like, oh, well, now the platforming is fine. Like, that stuff is still bad. And I think once you get a firm grasp on what Double Dragon 2 for the NES is offering, you realize it is not actually... Well, I was going to say not actually that much better than the first game, but now like I'm thinking it through, like it's just a different mix of junk. It's just like the first game. The first game is thought of as a weird disaster when you think about it. Insofar as it's a port of an arcade game, you know what I mean? Like that first game is not a good port of that game, but on its own merits, which is, scientifically what we're trying to do here, it's still quite good. Like Double Dragon 1 is still, it is still on number 51, is not quite a top 50 game, but it's missing the 2-player. It's missing, compared to its source material, it is like a bizarre thing. This game, Double Dragon 2, is strange because it is more faithful to the original material, but still has its own weird stuff. And in some ways, like some of that weird stuff is pulled from that previous game, like having weapons disappear, and having to work with just 2 buttons instead of 3. They were always 3-button games in the arcade. And the look of Abobo, which Abobo didn't look like that in the arcade original game. That is not like the Abobo did not look like that at all. And the NES Abobo has become the canonical, funny Abobo or whatever. And we love funny Abobo, but at the same time, it's just a weird thing. I do love that they just took Abobo from the first game and then gave him hair. that was their move for Double Dragon 2 on the NES is, no, we're keeping funny Abobo, but what if he had hair? Genius. And the platforming is brutal, having some Mega Man disappearing platforms. They can't even be bothered to give you a cool sound effect to go with the platforms as they're disappearing so that you can kind of time it in your head a little bit with the audio. And the penalty for failing it is just straight up death because there's spikes down there. Like that's a terrible decision. That's like hey, you played well all the way up to this point, and then this thing that we don't ask of you very often, so you're not actually quite good at it. You're just going to lose here anyway. And so until you master these 2 or 3 choke points in the game, you're just going to be fucked. That's a terrible way to manage difficulty and progress and whatever else, That's one of those things you look at and you have to think like people just weren't thinking about when people were making video games. A lot of them just weren't thinking about it on the level that people tend to think about it now. People tend to think about games and designing games now in a more harmonious way of like, let's make this kind of all fit together in a way that is sensible and whatever else. Whereas this game still has that kind of that 80s mentality of fuck it, man. I don't know. Put this in here. Is it good? No, but it's different. Lack of continues. It's not great. There's a code you can enter to do some continuing, I suppose, but or like level select type stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I think that all that stuff, like this is what I'm saying is I am very surprised here. Because for as cool as that knee strike is, and how you really do devastate some enemies with some of those moves, and those moves are usually very situational, so you can't just pull them off at will. I do think when we look at the science, this game is not as good as Double Dragon 1, which is the last thing I would have thought coming into today. Coming into today, my thoughts were, Double Dragon 2, well, that's a huge improvement over the first game. That might be a top 20 game. I don't know. Like if it's really good, maybe that'll end up being a top 10 game. Who knows? It's not. Now that we're kind of coming back to it. But let's think it through here. Let's start up here and not just start at the Double Dragon line here and think it through. Double Dragon 2 is worse than Trojan. Double Dragon 2 is worse than Xanac. It's worse than TMNT 2, the arcade game. It is worse than Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Yeah, it's worse than Willow. It is. Yeah, we're okay. So at least we're back at the line here. I feel good about that. But I think you'd be better served with a copy of Double Dragon 1, which is insane. I mean, you know, unless you're specifically playing co-op, which, you know, obviously that's a separate deal. But the game on display here, I never would have thought it. I never would have thought it in a million years that we would be at this point. But Double Dragon 2 is no Double Dragon 1. Which I feel the exact opposite about those two games on literally every other platform that they are both available on. Arcade, whatever else, you know? It's worse than Double Dribble. It's worse than Crash and the Boys Street Challenge. It's not as good of a belt scroller as Mighty Final Fight. In fact, okay, I think where we're at here is it's no Karnov, but it's better than Monster in My Pocket, I think is where we're at with this. You know, like the game does still have quite a lot of merit to it. Like it's fun, you know, it's like it's disappointing that it's not like markedly better than the first game. And so I'm kind of shocked, but like the game is still, you know, on its own merits. Still got something going for it for sure. The Revenge. What is this? 46? Is this episode 46? Yeah. And so our new number 57 is Double Dragon 2. And congratulations to Operation Secret Storm, our new number 300. Oops, spelled that wrong. Spelled that like it was on a menu of a multi-cart. Ah, yes, Double Dragon 2. Huh. I am a little shook, to be honest. I would not have expected this. I did not expect this at all. I thought for sure, here we are, Double Dragon 2. The lady gets shot. We're going to go punch some people. That guy's going to disintegrate. It'll be a great time. It turns out, not so great of a time. Wow. Next up is a game that I don't think I've played before. It was suggested by Faith. And it's known as Fist of the North Star. There's our little friend, the Puss in Boots cat, arrow on display, the mark of quality. I played Last Battle for the Genesis, but I have not played this. Okay, let's watch this a little bit. Okay, yeah. There's that guy. That's that guy. Ken, right? That's his name. His name's Ken. Kenny. The original Kung Fu Kenny. Okay. All right, I think I'm ready to play this. Basque's county capital. I don't know anything at all about Fist of the North Star. Except for this. That you can hit a guy a bunch and then they'll blow up. That's a high jump. So far, kind of like Kung Fu. Much like Puss in Boots, you can jump for speedrun techniques. I like that it just keeps going. The journey continues. This game would benefit from a jump noise, a wow, you know? Something nice. Oh, that guy dropped something? Okay. I guess am I better punching them because it seems like they drop more... yeah, it seems like they drop more power-ups when you kill with punches instead of kicks. Aw, man. Wow. Starting me all the way out here, huh? I don't know what bomb does. I don't really have a good... I'm hitting up and a button, but since up is also jump, it's not really... Punch that guy in the dick until his head exploded. You saw it. I assume getting these power stars is helpful. I don't... Like, these guys are not tough to begin with, so it's hard to get a sense of, like, oh, am I doing more damage, or... Oh, I'm moving faster now that I have higher power. That's weird. Like, why am I falling? Like, my meter, my Ken meter is still half full. Oh, you know what? Rapid fire also... Okay, so when, as you power up, you can hold down the button to continually attack. Like, that is something you get. So it seems like you just kind of get additional stuff as you get stars. I don't understand why I keep dying there, because it's showing my life meter as still half full. Okay, so now I have real rapid fire. I don't need to use the turbo buttons. I like making them blow up. It's cool. It just takes too long. Every single enemy takes a little bit of. You know, this game could actually learn something about the pacing of Kung Fu. Okay, what do we got here? Shooting attack. Ken shoots in the direction he is facing. Press the A and B button at the same time when you want to use the shooting attack. That's not working. Yeah, this A and B button at the same time thing is not doing any. Maybe I need higher power. But that's not happening. Gaylor City Group. See, if they put spikes on this ceiling, it would be just like Double Dragon 2. Oh, God. Okay. There's two of me, man. Da, 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 da. Oh, good. All good games restart the music when you walk into another. Oh, we got a little maze action here, huh? Maybe not. Oh. It's weird to walk through doors like that. You have to push right, A, and B. Like the controls in this game are fucking bonkers. Oh, God. I was going to say, his meter's not dropping when I punch him, but then he blew up. Nope, apparently not a door. Neither is this one. What the fuck? It's good. Guys aren't dropping enough stars. No, this is back here. Oh no, okay. No, can't just punch the... Jesus Christ! Traitor concentration camp. Cheery. Oh, low arrows, man. Devious. So maybe one of these was doors. Is that... Do I just have to go back and figure out which one of these maybe was a door? Oh, hey, I shot there. That's what the bombs are for. This is nonsense. The way you have to walk in these doors. It's so weird. I like the Fist of the North Star game that was like, they brought it over here as like what, Punch Mania or whatever? The Konami rhythm punching game. That game's badass. Yeah. There's something to this game, but it is miserable. Like structurally, in terms of just like. level layout and you know, like, hey, since up is jump, you have to push 3 things to walk through a door, and also there are things that look a lot like doors that aren't. Yeah, I mean, that'd be an interesting, you know, if we were ranking all the Fist of the North Star games, is this game better than Last Battle? Is this game better than the Genesis game? The spoiler answer is yeah, it is. Yay! Man. With full power, even. The real downside of the whole power thing is how slow you move when you don't have power. This walk speed is so shitty. Okay, I thought maybe I could get away with that. There's something interesting about this game for sure, but it's pretty rough. We may have met our match here. Yeah. Okay, Fist of the North Star. What year was this? What's the 89? Okay, yeah. It's not bad. It's yeah, I mean, it's better than that Genesis game, which is, yeah, gosh. It's satisfying. I don't know, like, you know, you hold down that button and he does the thing. He goes, like, he, you know, it does the thing you kind of want it to do for that era, I guess. But the leveling up stuff is not great. You know, some of the things that you're getting as you go is maybe not, you know, like stuff that should maybe be a little more standard, like your movement speed. You know, when you do kind of level up far enough to shoot fireballs, that's kind of, it's like, I don't know, that's kind of cool. but it's very monotonous. It's like a bad kung fu. You know, it does have some elements, like it in some ways expands on the concept of kung fu, but without any of the craft or charm that game has. And the boss fights are just a weird mess, you know, just a weird, like, just bouncing off each other, ugly kind of thing. It's nice that when you punch them, their heads explode, you know? It's like, and there's the bit of risk reward here, minor as it may be, of if you punch them, they'll stick around and explode, and you might get power-ups out of them, but the kick has a longer range, so it's easier to just kind of keep them away from you, but that blasts them off screen most of the time, and you will not get a power-up. So, you know, a little bit of thought into it for sure. I could see someone playing this game and then being like, "Yo, dude, this is badass. You got to get the," you know, like evangelizing it to a schoolyard friend. Fucking punch these guys and they blow up. And your name is, I think it's Ken. I don't know. And not knowing anything about where any of it comes from because it's 1989 in the United States, and very few people know what the fuck a Fist of the North Star is at that point. There are plenty of people who don't know what it is now, I'm sure. I barely know what it is. It's likable, but not great. It's likable, but not good, actually, is maybe the more appropriate thing to say there. Like, it's no Jackie Chan's action kung fu. You know, it's not as good as Shadow of the Ninja. It's no wampum. Like, it's not as good as Russian Attack. Eight Eyes just has more depth to it. Like, you know, like there's stuff about Eight Eyes that is not great for sure, but it comes out ahead of Fist of the North Star. Like, it's better than, you know, it's better than Kung Fu Heroes. It's not as good as, yeah, I mean, it's, so we're kind of looking at Eight Eyes to Kung Fu Heroes is kind of a wide, or yeah. It's not as good as, it's not as good as like Donkey Kong 3 and some of this other arcade stuff. It's just too clunky and funky. It feels a lot earlier than it is. I know it's like 87 in Japan or something, right? So there's, you know, it's earlier than it lets on, but a lot, you know, a lot of these games kind of are that way. Took a long time to localize stuff back then, I suppose. All the text in this game, you know, just took a long time. Like, is it better or worse than Dino Wars' destruction of Spondylus? Spondula, is it? Like, that game is very straightforward, you know, but it's very slow moving. Dino Wars moves very slow. At least you can upgrade the movement speed here, and that's nice. Spondylaus. Spondylaos. Like Dino Wars, you know what you're getting. I think in the very first level of that. Fist of the North Star is a little bit more mysterious. I think the thing is like the highs in Fist of the North Star are higher than Dino Wars Destruction of Spondylus, but the lows are lower too, man. It's yeah, it is not as good as Dino Wars. Is it better or worse than The Legend of Kage? Coming up from the bottom here. Like it's This is a weird one to put on the list. This is a weird game. Like it has merit for sure. But it's just such a mess. Milan's Secret Castle is a better game. That's a weird thing to say. It's a weird thing to say about any game. Milan. It's no Base Wars. It is not as good as The Legend of Kage. Which is kind of Kung Fu before Kung Fu was Kung Fu. Actually, I don't know the dates on those. I shouldn't say that, but they're not that far off date wise in arcades for sure. I bet. Oops. So Kung Fu Heroes, Legend of Kage, somewhere. It's better than Flight of the Intruder. It's no pinball. Spiritual Warfare is a better game. It's our new number 177. Congratulations to Fist of the North Star for being just confounding enough to force me to really sit here and think about it. A top 200 video game for sure. For now. Next up. Raymond suggested this one. Boy. This is a game I love, but not for anything that's in the game. I don't really have a good explanation for my affinity for this game. I couldn't even tell you a damn thing about it, but it's Jaws. Okay, there's that boat. This is the boat from Jaws for the NES. It's a beautiful boat. And we're out here boating. Oh, we've hit something. And now we're playing like a weird kind of... It's a weird take on like Shark. As far as I can tell, we kind of go back and forth and occasionally have to do this. But we want to do this because we need shells, because shells are the currency that we use to buy stuff. Bonus scene. Fuck jellyfish. And so this scene also, like, so those underwater scenes resemble an Intellivision game. This is a lot like, I don't know, Canyon Bomber or maybe Air Sea Battle for the 2600. So there's kind of a, like, it's a weird, this game feels like a mashup of a bunch of fucking very old video games wrapped in Jaws. And I think we go, when we have enough shells, we go here, and what do we get? Okay, we can now track Jaws with the receiver. And so there's a bit of a progression where you get, like, I don't know, you get shells to collect items, and then at some point you've upgraded enough to where you can fight Jaws, but you can also just fight Jaws and not be equipped to do so at any point because it's Jaws. We've hit Jaws. There it is, it's Jaws. There's Jaws. Not so bad, really. I mean, don't touch Jaws. I don't really know what you do next in this game also. What's this? But yeah, I think you just, yeah, you like go back and forth between the two ports until you've got all the gear, I think is that what it is? Bonus scene. It's like they wanted to make a Galaga style bonus stage, but like the plane flies back and forth in such a way that it's like not the same thing. And yeah, I have a little bit of control over the plane's speed, but not... Like, this is as slow as it'll go. I think if you die, you lose half your shells, is what it is. I remember there being a thing in this game that was a big deterrent to continuing to play this game. Which I think is like you lose a bunch of shells. This part of the game doesn't feel terrible. Like the control you have over your movement and whatever, like it's okay. It could be a lot worse. But also highly repetitive. Is level 3 enough to go fight Jaws, you think? I don't know what the upper limit... I don't... More shells. What the fuck? Jaws just rolled up on us. Like, hey, oh, by the way, hi. They didn't even play the music. Now we're a fun little submarine. Why? Okay. Let me go. No, not done yet? Okay. And it's not this one. It's... You have to go back and forth between the two ports. But it doesn't ever tell you, like, oh, this is not the active port. You just have to remember. Oh, cool. Bonus scene. Okay. Fuck. The jellyfish are getting pissed. They know I've been thinning out their number. I've been out to get them. Okay, power level raised. Now let's just go back the other way. Hooray. Oh, it doesn't even show my power level. Is that the... oh no, it doesn't show it on that screen. Is that what it is? Waters are getting more dangerous. Dude, I don't want to do the bonus scene. Yay. Oh, I'm just full up, huh? All right, Jaws, if that's your real name. Ah! That jellyfish destroyed my sub. Okay, Jaws' power is blinking. Is that a good thing? Okay. Oh, God. Strobe 1. What the fuck? I've never seen that before in my damn life. Wow. Yes. Yes, here it is. This image led to the invention of vaporwave. I know Macintosh Plus. I know. If you ask Vectroid, the inventor of the... This is where it all came from. Huh. Is it not easy to hit that spot? I just waited for it to get up close and figured it would come out of the water and spin, and you just, I don't know. Once I saw that the boat was doing a stabbing motion, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to ram that thing. All right, let me get my camera. So I got to send this to Nintendo Power. Okay. I got to cover the flash and... Wow, that's it. I thought for sure that this game was going to involve you killed Jaws and now you just keep going and there's multiple Jawses. But apparently there is only one Jaws. Huh. And there's a leaderboard. Did it submit to the leaderboard? Where am I on the leaderboard? On the Retro Achievements leaderboard. Jaws. Very simple. Much more simple than I ever thought it was. Because, you know, I would get to the point where you go back and forth and get stuff. And then I don't know why, like, I think it was just a patience thing. I think, you know, like the scientific method requires a little bit more patience than I maybe have in my normal life. And so you get to a point where you're like reckless and then you die and you're like, oh, well, that's it for Jaws. Because once you start losing shells and losing the ability to upgrade, it's just a whole pain in the ass. It's not a good game, but like every part of it handles. I'm number 177 on the Jaws leaderboard. Man, got a lot of work left to do. Got a lot of Jaws and left to Jaws. It's a weird thing where every little part of it is okay. Every little part of it is well made enough, but the way that stuff is put together, it is less than the sum of its parts, if that makes any sense. It does not have much going for it. Like if it just had a bigger world and it's like, okay, to get the next level, you need to go down. Like you always operate under the assumption that the world is much larger than it is. You're like, oh, I'm going to go to this port to get to this level and find this item. And there must be a whole bunch of inventory items I can find. Like, nope, there's a scanner. And then you level up and then you kill the shark and then it's over. Like, oh, wow. Okay. Like it feels like a demo. It feels like check out the full game. There's a ocean full of miserable sea creatures and inventory to collect. Please wishlist our game on Steam. And it's I don't think it would be better if it was longer, but it would, you know, if it had more variety or whatever else, like there's a better version of that game, but like, gosh, wow, there's really not a lot to it. I've been operating for all of these decades under the assumption that there was a much larger map in that game than there is. That there was just a whole lot more to see and do, as opposed to going back and forth between those two ports. And then Jaws. And then the individual game parts of it, once you're not just on the overworld map, I guess, if we want to call it that. All of that stuff feels like it was taken from games that were, you know, 5 to 10 years older than that. I mean, if that's 87 or something, then like, you know, we're talking early 2600 air sea battle. Canyon Bomber was even older than that in some versions, I think, you know, when it was an arcade game in the 70s. But it feels like a couple of 70s arcade games and the Intellivision game Shark slammed together with a light upgrade system and light currency system, and here you go. I was always under the assumption like, oh, well, you know, I can throw these depth charges out of the boat, but maybe you can upgrade those, or maybe I don't know. Like for whatever reason, I have always assumed that there was 10 times more of that game than there was. And I was like, oh, I've probably only scratched the surface of Jaws, but it gets so boring and it's such a hassle. When you die, you lose your shells. It's like, fuck Jaws. But no, apparently that's all there is to Jaws. It has a weird end sequence that is not, you know, seems like the Jaws equivalent of landing the plane in Top Gun. And then it says, thank you for your playing. I'm fucking blown away, dude. I can't believe we finished Jaws here today. After all these years of me, like, Jaws is a top of mind game for me because I'm sick in the head The boat from Jaws is been in like that. For whatever reason, I have been talking about the boat from Jaws for the NES since, let's say, the early 2000s. If Rich Gallup was here, he could attest for this. What the fuck? That's Jaws, I guess. It's still not a good game. I feel happy and thrilled now for having finished it, but we need to like distill that down. That is not the science. There's every little aspect of this game feels okay. I like the look of the dude. I think he's a good looking little man underwater with his harpoon gun. I think that's all right. I think the overworld is garbage and just like you get hung up on edges and stuff that, you know, it's the tile set up there is not as clear as you want it to be. I think the upgrade system is not what I thought it was. The sub's a fun little twist. You could do a lot worse than Jaws. I would say that the new re-release of Shark Shark that they tried to do for the Intellivision Amico, or I guess it's just a fucking PC game, that if the Amico were to ever exist, that maybe it would be on that as well. This is a better game than that. For sure. This is a better game than the re-release of Shark Shark. It's a better game than the original Shark Shark, I would say, by some measure. Sorry, I know it has exclamation points in the title that I'm not pronouncing. Shark! Shark! There, does that make you feel better? Boy, okay. I mean, it almost has the length of some of these arcade games, you know, or but some of these arcade games are infinitely replayable. You could play Donkey Kong 3 for the rest of your life. That's Stanley the Bugman right there. Whew. All right, I got to get my head together, man. This is really hard. This is really hard because I have been rocked to my very foundation about the substance of actual Jaws. But it's not like Jaws is not as good as Solomon's Key. It's no Castlevania. It's certainly not as good as Metal Storm. It's not as good as Mighty Bomb Jack. It's no Kickmaster. It's not as good as Low G-Man, the Low Gravity Man. You would certainly not take Jaws over Burai Fighter or SCAT, Special Cybernetic Attack Team. Jaws is not as good as Cowboy Kid. It's not as good as that fun port of Road Blasters. It's no Rambo. But maybe we're kind of dialing it in. It's no MC Kids. I hear Drake is changing his name to that. No? Is that too soon? No? MC Kids and DJ The Doctor. Like Scoon is a better game as far as underwater action goes. Is Jaws better or worse than Kid Nicky Radical Ninja? Kid Nicky Radical Ninja is kind of the opposite of Jaws in some weird ways, where it was a game that before we started, I was like, oh yeah, Kid Nicky Radical Ninja, that's fucking game is awesome. That game is radical, in fact. What a great game. Kind of a pain in the ass when you lose your blades, when it bounces off the guy's head and you got to run and catch him. Yeah, maybe the movement's not so good, but yeah, Kid Nicky, hell yeah. And then playing it and realizing, oh man, what a bummer. Kid Nicky kind of actually sucks. Broke my heart. Broke my heart. Whereas Jaws, I always was like, Jaws is an absolute piece of shit. Fuck that game. It's got some charm. I do like that picture of that boat. But beyond that, Jaws has nothing to offer. And now I'm like, Jaws has very little to offer, but also it does not overstay its welcome. And now that we're breaking it down into its component pieces, each little component is okay. But again, when you add it all up, it's not a fun game. It's certainly no King's Knight. Definitely no Space Shuttle Project. You would not take Jaws over Hydlide. You would not take Jaws over Donkey Kong 3. But you would take Jaws over Solstice, the Quest for the Staff of Deimos. Yeah, I mean, if we were reviewing this in a traditional sense and like, you know, looking at value and cost and all that stuff, Jaws is terrible. Jaws is a rental. Jaws is a 3 out of 5 at best. It's more like a 2 out of 5 on a review scale, because you're buying it for the same $40 that everything else is costing these days, for those days. And you're finishing it. Well, maybe you're not. I don't know. I encountered that game as a kid and never fucking finished it. So I don't know what that says about me, my dedication to the craft as a child, how much bullshit I was willing to put up with. It was lower than somehow. But this game is our new number 158. That's Jaws. That's Jaws. That's Jaws. Huh. Thanks to Faith for finally making me confront Jaws. It has been on the list of like games I'm dreading to re-encounter, and now we're on the other side of it, and I learned a lot about myself here somehow. Man, what the hell? Lysandus suggests the next game, and this one is unlicensed. This is a game that came to the US unlicensed, but was just a regular ass release in Japan. A number of these Sega games kind of came over this way. It's a little something called Fantasy Zone. Weird that some of these Sega games came to the NES. I remember, you know, when the stuff was coming out in Japan, it was weird to see Afterburner on the NES, and you know, it was like, wait, Sega makes their own system. Why would they be putting games out on the Nintendo? And, you know, you didn't realize that, like, that was a common thing that they had been doing for a while in Japan. But here in the States, they didn't bring that stuff over because they were like, no, if you want to play Fantasy Zone, you should buy a Master System. And as a Master System owner, let me tell you, Hey, generally speaking, I can't really speak for this one because I don't know that I've played this one in particular, but a lot of the Sega games that came to the Nintendo were bad. The Master System ports were generally a bit better. Alien Syndrome and Afterburner and all that stuff. But we'll get to that. Fantasy Zone, your friend and mine, Opa Opa. And this is before the tears of Opa Opa, but yikes. One of gaming's greatest songs. This song. But not this version of this song. This game also contains gaming's actual greatest song. But again, not this version of it. Shop music. If you want the best, what I feel is the best, though maybe not the canonical version of this song, you go play yourself a little game called Hot Rod, a top-down driving game that Sega put in arcades that also used this tune for its shop music. It appeared in a handful of different games, but that to me is the top-notch version of the music. If you asked me, it's a little less so lately, but if you asked me at any given time, hey man, do you have the shop music from Hot Rod stuck in your head? I'm going to say 20 to 30% of the time you'd be right. Not so much lately, not over the past, let's say, couple of years, but let's buy Big Wing. And I don't know. Laser Beam? And how about, I don't know, Jet Engine, I guess. Oh, Jet Engine and Big Wings are two different things, huh? Okay. This is a jittery, flickery mess. Flickery, not so much, but just a skittery, weird little disaster. Oh, right, all the weapons are timed. Right, never buy anything in this game. Fuck this game. I will say, also, I'm finding this game to be generally easier than most real versions of it. Or whatever that is worth. But if I remember correctly, my goal here is to kill these big things. I think that's what we're doing, right? That seems to be filling that meter down there at the bottom. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get this guy some fucking anti-barf medicine. Oh, God! He's sucking the barf back in. You sick fuck. Oh, I can barely move. There's so much money on the screen. This thing kind of looks like it's two hands and it's kind of doing a goatsy, right? And that's just not just me, right? It's not just my brain that's broken that way, right? Okay. Yeah, that's the ROM hack to add the ring. And that's all it adds. It's a much better game. Again, maybe it is the dedication to science that I have here that I don't necessarily have in my everyday life, but this is probably the furthest I have ever played into any version of Fantasy Zone. I'm not sure what's going on here. The inner ring is kind of changing colors a little bit here. Like, I assume I gotta clear a path so I can shoot the guy. He seems so unhappy. Okay. The outer ring seems impervious. Oh. Look at that. There's multiple pages in the shop. Sega loves some 16-ton weights. Or just any kind of weight like that. They got a whole game named that. Or is that a 24-ton that's the name of the game? Anyway. Let's buy Twin Bomb. Five-way shot. This feels like a bad version of this game, which, you know, again, based on the other Sega releases on this platform, it almost felt like they were like, yeah, fuck it, let's make some garbage-ass versions for the NES, or for the Famicom, rather, and hope that people buy the Mark III. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, I fucked that up. I've picked up a certain pattern here. Oh! But for whatever reason, that one didn't want to blow up. Good thing I bought those extra ships, I guess. It's funny because these guys feel like they should have another phase. Like, oh, you blew my lasers off and now I'm really mad. But instead they just blow up. I don't know. A turbo controller is rendering my desire to upgrade the weapon, and also the way the weapons are limited. Is lowering my desire to use any of them. Oh right, we can walk. This is a nice little touch. Like Space Harrier. Not great movement on these. Not the most fluid. Fuck. And now I'm moving real slow. I was expecting like this to be almost like the octopus in Alex Kidd in Miracle World, that if I shot the front part of it, that it would, you know, the next one would open up and become the main thing, and you'd kind of shoot it all the way back. But I wonder if I just need to change the color on all of these things in order to make the whole thing blow up? Yeah. Great song. I just want to hear the music again. I'm good. It's not even. It's not a good version of the song. But I'm going to be thinking about that shop music for the next several weeks. Look at how slow this gets. This is terrible. This is not a good game. Oh, man. Let's try 5-way shot and see what it looks like. Oh, yeah. Right. It doesn't last very long. The weapon upgrades seem like bad buys. If you could, like, pause it and equip stuff and kind of like, oh, I'm going into the boss fight, I need to equip this weapon or, you know, whatever, like, that might be something, but... This time, the ball comes from behind... Oh, God! This looks so terrible. Look at this color scheme and this, like, everything about this. Oh, God! Speed picked up. I mean, it better not pick up again or else I'm fucked. Oh, I was trying to fly into the shop and instead that happened. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm fucking up now. There's two of them back to back. Fuck it. These are fun little tunes in these levels that I've never seen in any other version of the game. I should go listen to this full soundtrack of the real version of the game. I bet it's splendid. You know you spent too much time in the level when the money gets small. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. That's very hard with the default speed too to get out. Like I knew I needed to get out of the way of it, but like the at the rate I was moving, that was not very doable. That's Fantasy Zone. I don't know. That seems like a bad version of that game. But again, I that's a lot of these Sega games on Famicom were pretty dreadful ports. So, but that's not what we're doing here. We're not ranking it by ports. I just think it's a little overly straightforward. I think the levels themselves are really short, which I don't think they're that short in other versions of the game. But it's the same basic idea of, you know, shoot out the big things and then go fight the boss. But like it's garish. Like there's just the bright and colorful palette of the original game is not well represented here. Like it's ugly. It's an ugly version of the game. And so if we're looking at other shooters, I mean, it's no Xevious the Avenger. This is not the version of Fantasy Zone you want to judge anything on. You know? I don't know who did the port. Tengen brought it over to the United States, but it was released by Sunsoft in Japan. So perhaps they did the port. Or maybe Kid did it or somebody. I don't know. Who the fuck ported NES games? When in doubt, it's fucking TOS. You know, it's no spiritual warfare. You would be better served with a copy of Mock Rider. But that's not too far off because when we look further down the list here, you know, you would take Fantasy Zone over Dick Tracy. But Marble Madness is a better thing, just barely. Jurassic Park is better. It's better than Mad Max, which is ambitious, but not good. It's better than Captain Comic The Adventure. And it's better than Totally Rad. But it's not as good as Jurassic Park. It's our new number 204. Congratulations to Fantasy Zone. Right there. All right. That's pleasant enough. I don't know. That felt like a game that I could have finished right then and there. If you told me that was the last level, I would believe you. Joseph wanted this one. And, well, we played the first one last week in order to get to this one for Joseph. This one's known as Little Ninja Brothers. Or I guess, is this Super Chinese 2? This room's heating up. Yeah, yes. Yeah, we did just write Culture Brain on the screen, and then it loops back to the intro. Ryu and Jack. One play. Fast text. Defaulting to hard, huh? Let's go with normal. Select difficulties of the action play. Chinaland. Blue Boltar, General of the Yoma Clan. All of you, look at this. I'm the Emperor of Chinaland. Please, someone, do something. Oh, no. He got hit on his head. Aha! Chinaland is now mine! Anyone who resists us will be terminated. Meanwhile, Jack and Ryu are just training under their wise mentor. The three were shocked to hear the terrible news. You have been training for this day. Go to the town of Yokan. Take this red bell of prism with you. Fucking what? Yo, what's that? Yo! Master, which way to the beach? Oh, so we need the 7 dragon bells? And then what? Do we get 3 wishes? What do we... It's from my private stash. I've also got some za. All right, here we are in Chinaland. I didn't realize this was going to be a full-on role-playing game. Where's the town of Hinnan? The audio in this has a real, composed by a Commodore 64 veteran sound to it. The Yoma clan have already taken over the outskirts of this town. Crush punch. Okay, that's a big empty screen. What kind of treasure do I have? I got a bell. Well, give me a crush punch. And how about a shield, I guess? Well, why do I get a robe? It's cheaper. I like that everything is the best item to buy. Punch, crush punch. Robe, white robe. So does that mean I could also buy the shield? Or do I don't have enough money for it anymore, do I? Oh, I do. This is the best item to buy. My attack has not gone up at all. Well. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the 12 celestial beings. Yeah, they'll probably. I mean, when you encounter the enemies whose levels are higher, sometimes it's a wise idea to escape from them. Okay. A wise man. Oh, it's a password game, huh? Use the sword on enemies you can beat with punch or kick. You won't get any experience points. Skaboard. Where's the convenience store? You said something about going to a convenience store, but I haven't seen one of those. Ah, it's probably the big C. You can obtain the dragon kick by punching the rocks. Each K mark is worth 1 kick. am I doing? I don't know how to run. I don't know how to run. It's like none of these buttons are just running. I can jump and punch, and then if I push right on the D-pad, he just doesn't move at all. So I'm just kind of flipping out to move. And left will move me left, so I can't. It's not like back and forth. It's not tapping on the D-pad multiple times. Like, all right, I passed. Sick. What the fuck? Just. No, I have not been to Delicious, the town of the finest delicacies, but thank you. Hey! Thanks for putting symbols on here. It's, okay. Guess I needed to go north, huh? Any random encounters out here or no? And then when you fight, you have to fucking play Super Chinese. Interesting. I'm the wise stallion. Yeah, fucking... I'll trust a wise stallion. I'm on my way to defeat the Yoma clan. Well! Punch the rocks to get ball. Then you can then use the Surger or T-Stars. Bryn, you're right. The name, something about the way this game is referred to as Super Chinese seems wrong. This again, huh? What a bizarre training thing. Also, why can't I move properly? How come I can't run? How come the player 2 can run? Fuck. Okay, we were starting to get going there. It's okay if I mash A while holding right, but that's also the attack button, so whatever. I'm not afraid of the Yoma clan now. Okay, so if I get more powerful T-Stars, my Surger will also be upgraded. Okay, that's good to know. I was wondering about my Surger. I am looking for the Bell of Prism. Well, do your best, boy. Who are you calling? Well, you're a horse. I don't know. Level 7. That seems bad. But let's find out how bad. Ah, look, it's the filing cabinet from the first game. Ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da! It's a fun little level up noise. Where's this town that was supposedly to the east? I like role-playing games with unique ideas about how they handle fights. And so I am drawn to this as, look at this weird thing where they made a role-playing game, but then when you fight, it's the same game as the first one. It's like they made the fight system just, it is, I think that's crazy. And I like that. What's this little car over here? The mayor has taken all the food for himself. Oh, it is serious. I guess we want to go to the hotel to restore. It said to get a password in order to set this as where I would continue from. I assume that also means if I die. Tool. Is there no hotel here? There it is. This is the place for your tired body to rest. Yeah, I guess so. Roasted slugs, boiled lizards, salted spiders, they're all very good. They say that the Bell of Prism is kept as a family treasure in a town called Silly City. Silly City. Let's go to this big inn. Welcome to Nettie's. All right. I'm guessing the burger shop is going to be empty as well. Ah, yes, McDonald's. Give me some big racks. I like that he's like, why don't you stay the night and relax? And then you walk in and it's just a dungeon. Oh, maybe it's not a full dungeon. This is a cool hat. Oh. I will treat you to all the finest meals. You're a pretty nice man. This food is excellent. Yum, 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 yum. Huh? Doped up by the mayor. Who will believe you? I'm the mayor. Huh? I am in the prison. Ha ha ha. I will reveal my true identity. I am Tubba Tummy of the Yoma clan. Great. Between Wise Stallion and Tubba Tummy, I'll cast a spell on you and change you into meatballs. All right, yeah, great. Yes, do it. This has been my dream. Let's vor it up. Well, I don't have the amulet too, so... Oh, I'm the real mayor. Look what's happened. I mean, there is stairs there, but what else is down here? Oh, nothing. All right, cool. I'll see y'all later. I am the savior, Mushy Mouse. Okay. Why? Hi. Look at my face. Ah, credit pig. I'm approving everyone today. What do you think the answer is here? What do you think the right answer is here? Oh, amulet 2. Where am I going? It said it was on the other side of the bridge, but I... Oh, man. Look at that big fist. This is a really fucked up spot to be in. This is a good little tune. So does that mean I don't have Amulet 2 anymore and I need to go and do... Okay, I still have Amulet 2. And I'm back in the town that I was looking for anyway. So now let's go back up and talk to this fucker. Hey, what's up, man? Alright, Silly City is east of here. The people there are all stupid due to a strange sickness. People in Silly City are fucking idiots. This is a very charming game. I just, the problem is that Super Chinese is still not a very good game. And while it's kind of cool as a fight system in an RPG, it's sort of like it's not it doesn't feel like it's reflecting the power of the enemies versus my power. I'd gotten a level 7 fight at level 1 or 2 and was still one-hitting those guys. And so that's kind of a weird thing. Come out, boys! And like these bouncing mouths over here seem to, I don't think I can hurt them. Oh, I can jump on them. Okay, that'll do it. And it's like a traditional level of Super Chinese 1, or whatever the hell, Kung Fu Heroes. Where the door opens and you gotta get out. If I hit both buttons, I can use an item, but I don't have any items. Oh no! Whoa, what the? Maybe I should go grind a little bit. These guys are level 6, I'm level 2. Evil umbrellas. Sure. Oh, God. Like so in some ways, actually, Kung Fu Heroes, or Super Chinese, the predecessor to this game, one of the main problems with it is that the combat is very imprecise. Because of the camera perspective and a lot of other stuff like that. And so, like, that is made extra frustrating here, where you have so much more riding on each individual fight, just by virtue of it being, a role-playing game. And so, this is cool. Like, the pieces of this are really neat. But this combat still sucks. Oh, well. And so when these fuckers with the sticks outrange you, it's a pain in the ass. Oh, I thought for sure that would be enough XP to go up to level 3. Level 6, but it's just these pig dicks. Still not enough. But I do have enough money to at least rest. Okay, I don't want to fight the weird lightning thing that killed me last time. Can I get away? Okay. Let's at least go rest at the hotel. Maybe buy gear. I don't know that there's any... Oh, yeah, there is a store here. Let's go see what the gear is like here. I already have all of that. Except for this. But that's very expensive. And I don't know what that is. On top of that. How it is used. But... Alright, let's try. Little teleport tunnels, like it was frickin' Pac-Man or something. Yay. Okay, now that I'm level 3... and I have all my health, why don't we go, we'll stop at the convenience store in case that generates any sort of progress or save point kind of thing. I don't think it does. You will go on to the next level if you get 128 experience points. Okay. Let's see what we can do. I did not know that this was... I maybe should have looked, but like, whatever. I did not know that this would be a full-on role-playing game. I figured it would just be, hey man, it's the sequel to the first one of these. It's, you know... But this is intriguing, for sure. No. Oh, door's open, man. Yeah, I bet there are people that had this game as a kid that fucking love this game. Ah! That hurt hard. That hit real hard. That wave thing. Let me get out of here. I maybe should have bought like a health recovery item or something, you know? Maybe that would have been smart. Oh no. I'm exhausted. So how much of that money, how much money got taken away there? Yeah, that took some, right? But I'm imagining I kept that XP from those fights, and that was like 40 XP or something I was getting from some of that, so I'm probably pretty close to level 4. Level 8. I mean, let's see. I also don't know what any of these numbers are. I have K10, I have M3, you know, like... Oh, that fucker jumped on me, man. The K... Oh, I have those kicks, right? Am I supposed to... They were trying to train me how to use the kicks and the other things, but I don't... Yeah, I'm losing half my money every time I die. You know, like a video game. Let's ask this man about my leveling and see what he has to say about it. Okay. Oh. That's like if you're playing 2-player and 1 player is dead. That's not... I thought for some reason the convenience store would sell me a healing item that I could take with me and use in battle, but that is not the case. There's a tool shop up here maybe that sells something like that. Sweet bun! Oh, just don't put these trees here so I can walk out of town, you know? You know, role-playing games? Put a exit every direction in your town. I think K is number of kicks, right there. I'm earning K. No. There it is. Oh, I have a skateboard. That lightning comes in very quickly. It's really fucked up. Will we fight snakes or something here in the... Alright, little fires. Say in the desert here. But like, all of the combat just seems to be you baiting the attack out and then walking in and hitting them, you know? Can I jump on the fire to kill it? Looks like it. Ah! Can Can we step on fire? Absolutely. Seems like the move at low levels would be to buy a bunch of those sticky buns for 10 and use those as heals as opposed to spending 15 to heal up proper. Was that a skull and now I have 0 M? Did that take my M away? Is it that the enemies aren't more difficult? Well, it seems like they probably maybe do more damage to you if they're higher level. But I was going to say, do you have to kill more of them? It's not that any individual enemy is trickier. Okay. Okay. Grinding, baby. I don't love it, but I like the idea of this game. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That guy was going off. I mean, when the game, you know, the combat is more action-oriented like this, I think I can handle the grind a little bit more than, you know, in a traditional turn-based game. Would have been nice to have battery backup in something like this, you know? A friggin' role-playing game with passwords. Though perhaps not the deepest role-playing game in the world. I guess I don't know, ultimately. Alright, let's go try this again now that we're level 4. Maybe we'll have a slightly better time with it. And we got some sticky buns, just in case. Once we free this town from the tyranny of Tubatum, or whatever the fuck his name is, you know, maybe we can go to McDonald's and hook something up, you know? Ah! These fuckers jumping is where the game becomes very frustrating. You're like, oh god. Ah! No! Fuck dick. Asshole. Jack 9. Unprecedented. There isn't even a Jack 8. Go buy a couple more sticky buns and go fight. I almost have enough for Talisman B, but that will have to wait for another day. Alright, dickhead. Trying to bait out the jump, yeah, like that. Ah! Okay. Moving forward. Let's, I can one-shot these ninjas now. Ah, you suck, ass! Ah, skulls. No M for me. Oh! No! Get off me, sicko. No, 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 no. What have you done to my men? All right, I want to see what this looks like. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Ah. Fuck. One-shotted. God. Just ass. Okay. Well, at least we know what a boss fight looks like now. That was kind of the thing I was curious about. God damn it. All right, little ninja brothers. Combat's not great. It has some versatility to it. You know, you can kind of do your flips and land on their head, and you know, you have your limited little dashing kick thing that is decent. When you can get it to come out, which is not always the most reliable of moves. I really like the idea of this game. Again, I think I don't always like the game, but I do think that when role-playing games have different styles of combat or whatever it is, like I was a big Sword of Vermilion fan, and people, and I imagine if I went back to it now, maybe I would hate it, but at the time, you know, it was a big old role-playing game, but with very action-y combat, and it's actually not entirely dissimilar to this. I think it's a little better combat-wise. But a little less, maybe a little less versatile, actually. Yeah, I bet it would be really hard to go back to Sword of Vermilion at this point. But that's a cool fucking game, and this is a cool fucking game, but it's the combat is not awesome. That's kind of its downfall. Like it's a fun localization. It's like it's goofy in interesting ways that maybe feels almost a little ahead of its time from your friends at Culture Brain. But all of it kind of comes back to that combat, and you know, when we talked about that combat last week, it's very imprecise. The kind of jutting forward on the attacks, in a very a Wario, Master of Disguise kind of way. Is that that kind of like you move forward and then back with the strike is very weird. The kind of like lining up vertically to make sure that your attacks are going to hit, and it's not like that stuff's clunky. And it would be better if it was just a pure top-down game, but it wouldn't look as good. I don't know. Like the characters look nice for what it is, and and all of that. So you kind of have to take the good with the bad there, I guess. But like where it nets out is, it's a really interesting game. And I think it makes good on a lot of that promise. It's not a Dick Tracy situation where you go, oh, this is ambitious, but it's dog shit. You go, oh, it's ambitious and like this combat is less than ideal, but like maybe I still want to kind of suffer through some aspects of that to see what else there is to see. That's where I'm left off, like, oh man, this is really fascinating. I would really like to see more of this because it's such a weird combination, especially when you think about it as the second game in a series where they said, hey, we're going to take the entire first game of the series and just make that the combat for our role-playing game. I think that's really nuts. And it has me think, like, what other game, I was like, I saw someone in the chat say Pac-Man or something, but yeah, like, a role-playing game where then you get into battles and have to play Pac-Man. But then you're just kind of like, at some point, you're making Undertale. Which it's neither here nor there for what we're doing here. I really wanted to like Undertale. Conceptually, at the end of the day, though, I didn't really like the thing that is in that game as combat. I did not enjoy, which I suppose means that you try to avoid it as best I can. But like I don't have a ton of fondness for the games that game is pulling from. So, I kind of am not the target audience, I suppose, for Undertale. But in theory, I love it. Like, I love that it exists. I love that thing got made, and that's what that is. And I think that's really cool. But yeah, I'm not interested in a big love letter to Earthbound. Yeah, it's just not. It's not what I want out of a video game. So there you have it. But like, this is interesting in a somewhat similar weird way of like, hey, here's this alternative combat scheme that is not just derived from Dragon Quest or, Final Fantasy or whatever else. That very traditional turn-based style, like here's a very different thing. I appreciate that. But where does Little Ninja Brothers go? Like, Super Chinese is one of the weirdest series in these earlier generations of gaming, because it's one of those things where it got localized a bunch of different ways and in ways that you didn't necessarily know. Like, maybe they marketed it this way. I don't know. But it's not apparent from the titles that Little Ninja Brothers is the sequel to Kung Fu Heroes, and sort of like some of the, Assault Suit, Vulcan, and, like all the Cybernator and Target Earth and all of the other stuff that, like as it got localized by different companies and became parts of different franchises, even though they're all kind of set in the same universe, like similar type deal is how it feels, I guess. But anyway, Little Ninja Brothers, way more fascinating than you would immediately think. It's certainly better than Dick Tracy. It's better than Kung Fu Heroes, its predecessor, by quite a lot. It's better than Dirty Harry. It's better than Hide Lied. Which, as much as I have a personal love of Hide Lied, I mean, let's not get weird about it. I think this is better than Wampum. I think when we look at the science, we'll find a game that's better than Wampum. This game's better than RC Pro Am 2. It's better than Clash at Demon Head. It's better than Rad Racer. Like, it's better than Rockin' Cats. Like, I think that, like, it's hard because there's a lot of stuff, like there is downside to this game for sure, because at the end of the day, that combat is the thing that holds it back. But it is such a fascinating mix of genres, you know. It's the Skyrim of its day, you know. Hey, here's this deep role-playing game, traditional-looking role-playing game, and yet the combat is in real time. What? It's basically Skyrim, right? I think that's no. But you would take it over a Kid Icarus. But that's kind of better or worse than Low G Man, the Low Gravity Man. It's no Low G Man, the Low Gravity Man. We're looking at our new number 62. What is it? Little Ninja Brothers. I keep wanting to write Super Chinese 2, which is, and this, oh God, we've got to save China Land. Something about taking China and turning it into a theme park seems, let's call it disrespectful. at best. And there you have it. It's our new number 62. Congratulations to the Little Ninja Brothers for doing the damn thing in a way that I never would have anticipated. And that's going to do it for us here this week. Not quite as many games as I thought we would get to, but, you know, Little Ninja Brothers ended up being a role-playing game. Whoops. And so there we are. Next week, we've got the remaining games on the list, as well as some others that but the rest of the games for this week that we did not get to: The Lone Ranger, Hatris, and Eliminator Boat Duel. We will pick up with those three next week, among others. If you want to be the person to pick the among others, you can sign up over at patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann. Get in there, get on that advisory panel and advise. Man, what a fascinating, this is, I was putting together this list and going like, man, there's a lot of games in here that I don't know what we're going into. And I feel like my expectations were rocked at every turn. Double Dragon 2, not nearly as good as memory, as my memory of that game, for sure. Fist of the North Star, weird, but like something kind of cool about it, but not good. There's something kind of cool about it, but there's not something good about it. Jaws, we played Jaws start to finish, and like my entire perception of what Jaws was as a game was changed forever. I thought Jaws was a much longer game than that. And Fantasy Zone, that was about what I expected, to be honest. Not too surprised by Fantasy Zone. Again, a lot of those Sega ports to the Famicom are, well, we'll find out, you know, because more of them did come to the US, but boy, some of those are pretty. Did Afterburner come to the US? Because like, I feel like some of these being unlicensed or whatever the deal was, like I'm not really sure which ones came and which ones didn't. Yeah, so Afterburner, yeah, Tengen released Afterburner. Did they release Alien Syndrome? They did, yeah. So Atari's Tengen label released a lot of those Sega games into the US, and if I remember correctly, it happened pretty late. I remember seeing EGM, because, you know, it was like a shocking thing. They're like, EGM saying like, did you know Afterburner's on the fucking NES in Japan? And you're like, what? That's a Sega game. What the hell? And then eventually all that stuff came over, or some portion of it, right? I mean, are those the three, or is it more than that? I mean, oh, okay, there's a version of Space Harrier that did not come over. I don't think that version of Space Harrier is very good. Altered Beast? Is there a fucking Famicom version of Altered Beast? No. I guess what's the Japanese name of that game? It's not Altered Beast here. Yeah, so it would be filed under J for... There it is. Oh. There it is. Wow. Yeah, all right, this is unprecedented, but we're gonna take a very brief look at this because I don't think I've ever seen it before. Hasmic did it. Wow. Holy shit. This looks terrible. Power up. This looks like a fucking, like the color palette and everything just has very extreme Commodore 64 fucking vibes to it. This is like maybe going to be an unpopular thing to say or whatever, but I don't know if you know this, but Altered Beast, it's a fucking terrible game. Like, it's not actually a good game. I loved this game because it came with the Genesis, and that was the first time I'd ever seen it. I had never seen the arcade game. But like, it's a really cool concept. It says fucking rise from your grave and all that stuff, and that goes a long way. Wow, it sure is that game. Except I seem to take more like the Genesis strategy of just rocket into the thing over and over again. Doesn't seem to work as well here. This is hilarious. What a weird version of the game. Yeah. I mean, it's got the weird dude's head. It doesn't... Oh, it just... Okay, I walk across the screen and become a tiny man again. It doesn't suck the orbs out of me the way the original one does. I like that it all takes place on one plane and doesn't have a high and a low because it makes it a lot easier to get the fucking wolves. Anyway. What is this little... Crazy. 1990 also. really goofy game over font there. Yeah, okay, I had no idea that existed on this platform. What a weird one. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, scientifically speaking. But yeah, we'll be back next week with the Lone Ranger, Hatris, Eliminator Boat Duel, and whatever else. We'll come up with a list of 6 or 7 games and see where we get to. Thanks everybody for hanging out and watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.